Welcome back to The Unleashing. I'm your host, Jared Beeler. My backdrop's a little bit different this morning. Up in the mountains doing some more camping. Got a real nice view here on the edge of this cliff. Wind's blowing a little bit, but not too bad. Hopefully it doesn't drown out me talking. Well, we're a week out from Revelation 12 sign. Got a good view this morning of Venus and some of the other planets coming up with the moon. It was real nice. Got the sunrise with it. Man, I've been watching this thing since it first took place last November, anxiously awaiting. I can honestly tell you there's nothing more exciting for me in my life that I could possibly be hoping for than the nekatef, the rapture, meeting Jesus in the air. It's the most exciting thing I could have been looking forward to my entire life, and to be this close to what looks like it could be it is just mind-blowing and totally exciting. There's a part of my body it still says, how can it be, while my spirit's just screaming, red alert, it's about to happen. About a month or so ago, I was in my room and I was laying there and the sun started to come through the window. It was really early in the morning. I was kind of halfway between sleep and not sleep, and Jesus spoke to me one more time. He said soon, and it's like not one person has been given the exact time of when it's going to happen, but that's just the way that he works. He's shown us enough, like I've said before, and it's pretty obvious that it's about to happen, and he just keeps saying soon, you know, and I really believe that it is. It's going to happen soon, and I think it's going to line up with this week. We're gonna take it one step at a time, though, so we'll see what happens, you know. I haven't seen one person that's taken this seriously definitively say this is exactly what is going to happen. Because all we've been able to do is look at it. They've all had the same feeling that this is serious. We need to start taking it serious. It looks like he's coming back at any time, and this really matches it more than anything. So doing our diligence as Christians to be looking for this, it's what we're supposed to be doing. So none of them have done anything wrong at all, and most of these people that I see looking at this, besides myself, are smart. They're intelligent. They're not coming up with crazy kooky ideas or anything like that. They're looking at this with as much understanding as they possibly can while comparing it to Scripture. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with it at all. But I was watching some videos earlier this week and just listening to some other ideas, because more and more stuff's coming out that people are like, this isn't the Revelation 12 sign. So I always listen to where the opponent is coming from on what their standpoint is and why they feel that way. And I listened to him talk, and one of them recently was saying that this is not it because it doesn't line up with Saturn and stuff like this. Well, okay, just from your point, and it won't be happening again, that they said, for another 500 years. Well, here's the problem with that. They have absolutely no discernment. Even if this sign isn't the one, how can they not look at the other things taking place, the convergence of the other things? Do you really think we'd make it 500 more years without getting into World War III? We're on the verge of it right now. I can't believe it didn't happen last year. It is impending. It's about to happen. It's just there. What about the Malachi prophecy, the 112th Pope that we're at right now? What about the 70th generation of Israel that we're coming to right now here at the end of the week? You know, that was prophesied. Even if it were to go by power into 80 years, that would only be 2028. We look at technology and the way it's booming. How could somebody even say that and believe that it would be like 500 years off? That is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't even look at the Revelation 12 sign, and if people do that, it's totally fine as its main source. But I was looking at all the other things back in 2013, like when the last Pope got in, and it matches Revelation 17, what Luther believed was talking about the Roman Catholic Church when they had the Reformation, and the 500-year Reformation that happens this October on the 31st. And they want to bring the church back together, and all the other signs that are happening at the same time. It's these things like Israel's 70th generation that makes me go, wow, we are at the time that it's exactly supposed to be speaking of. And then when you put the Revelation 12 sign on the one sign that really fulfills it on top of Feast of Trumpets, the next appointed time, it's like that's what gives it its credentials. If it was by itself, I would have a hard time just believing in itself. Like I say, it would be a personal thing and be like, interesting, I'll have to check this out for myself. I sure as heck wouldn't be making a video about it and saying this is when I believe it's going to happen. I need more stuff, but we have more stuff, and for multiple videos and people out there to be saying, no, this isn't it, nothing's going to happen. It's like, you guys aren't really looking at this and having any clues. It's like the same people that believe in a post-tribulation rapture. It's like you're taking Matthew 24 and closing everything out. If you're going to find the answer, you have to look at it all. What is Paul talking about when he says you will know the hour, you're not in darkness? What about us being kept from that hour? All right? And then Matthew 24. If you're going to look at all the verses at one and find the answer, you have to realize you can't throw any of them out, so they all must be speaking for something. Matthew 24, speaking of the second coming, Jesus is talking to the Jews, while Paul and John are speaking of the pre-tribulation rapture that happens. And when you put them together like that, the whole thing fits, and it makes perfect sense. Nothing has to be left out or thrown out. And they don't do that. They don't use due diligence, and they don't rightly divide or anything else. And it's kind of mind-boggling how they can miss that kind of stuff, but whatever, that's not really the point. I just wanted to, I just wanted to make the point. Hopefully this is the last video that I have to do. I don't know, we'll take it, like I say, one step at a time, but I'm hoping that the next time you guys hear me talk, it's going to be in the clouds and we're going to be with Jesus, and that's the ultimate goal here, and hopefully that's what we're getting close to, because it sure does look like it. A few things haven't happened the way I thought. We didn't go after North Korea just yet, and now it looks like I said, and I think the last video, that we're going to wait right up until these signs happen, and it's going to take place. They're going to do it right when the second seal breaks. I'm guessing that's when the Ezekiel 38 happens, and that's what's going on with ISIS around Syria, and them getting troops ready to go down into Israel. It looks like the whole thing's going to kick off at once, and when we hear Ezekiel 30 and stuff like that, it's one aspect of the second seal breaking loose for when the tribulation happens, and that would also line up with them burning weapons for 7 years, because it would be right at the start of it. That's my conclusion to that anyways. That's what it looks like. Might be a lot off in a few areas, but not really sure, but that's the best possible answer that can come with it. But this is exciting times, and it really looks like it. If you still haven't had a chance to talk to loved ones or whatever, I encourage you to talk to them a little bit more and give them a chance, let them know at least some of the stuff that could happen here within this week. And we don't know the exact day. It could happen around the first of the Feast of Trumpets, around the 21st, 20th, 22nd, or it could happen at the 23rd, a little bit after it. It might somehow get pushed out between this and Feast of Atonement. Not really sure. Don't have an exact day on it. We just know that it's soon, and he's coming back, and we can feel the soonness, the approach of it. I'm not somebody that bounces around with ideas where it happens on Pentecost. Okay, but there's a secret Pentecost a week later. Oh, we found a super secret Pentecost 2 weeks later. Now there's a super duper secret Pentecost, and it goes into July. I'm not one of those people that just keep rambling on and coming up with ideas that don't make sense. I believe it is exactly appointed to Feast of Trumpets, and it's the next appointed timeline. So if it's on it or just around it, totally fine with it. If it goes past it, I don't think it's going to happen this year, for the reason that I don't think the rapture would happen, because of the way that darkness moves and how it's just waiting on standby in the shadows just to pounce on the world and start with evil. And there's no way it would make it to a full year without it happening. But like I say, we're taking this one step at a time. We're going to see what's going to happen, but I believe the next thing that's going to happen is we're about to get called up to the sky, and it's going to be the most awesome thing you can possibly imagine. I know I'm looking forward to it. I have been for a long time. This video is short. I say that every time, and then I start talking about some other stuff, but I just wanted to get this out, let you guys know to hang in there a little bit longer. We finally made it to this time that we've been waiting for. I've been waiting for a long time. Since I was a kid, I've been looking up in the sky, and for 5 years since I saw the sign, and definitely since I started seeing some other things take place that line up with it, and then after finding out that it's not a mid-trib event, it's like, well, it keeps pushing me on a little bit longer, but now we've reached the line. This is when this sign happens. There isn't one that happens within a time period that's going to fit within Israel's 70th generation, or that the false prophet, the Pope, would still be alive, along with the other things that all take place. This is the only time where we see a sign that matches it from Revelation 12, that fits it perfectly. It's on the feast day, and it calls out along with all the other signs in a convergence like none other. For that, we have to take it serious, because we're Christians, and it's our responsibility to be looking for this. Blessed are they that are looking for him when he returns. That's what we do, and it's going to be awesome. So hang in there just a little bit longer. Just want to give you guys my last words on this, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully I'll see you in the sky real soon. Thanks for joining me on the leashing. Talk to you later. Bye. There is something I wanted to add in real fast. the UN's meeting of peace and safety this week on Feast of Trumpets. It's also very suspicious. You know, they can't use the same title again from what I've heard, and for them to say that right when we're on the verge of it, it's just another key place that we'd be expecting for it to be in. But there's one more thing that I forgot to tell you guys. My buddy Bobby Broussard over on his channel, he sent me over a copy of a picture from the UN's Facebook page. And it was very interesting what they said, and I wanted to go over this real fast. In this post, they basically sum up that, hey, if people go disappearing, friends, loved ones that you see vanish in front of you, don't worry about it. This is natural. These things happen during times of conflict and war. I'm reading it and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, wow, they couldn't be prepping anymore for the rapture if they tried. Literally giving out excuses. If you see somebody disappear in front of you, oh, don't worry about that. That's not the rapture. These things happen in a time of war, and it's an unexplained event that happens, and you're not alone, so don't worry about it. It's like, wow, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. It's just a couple more keys that are put into this that look like it's going to happen this week. And I forgot to mention that earlier, so I wanted to throw that out real fast. But yeah, it's very interesting, and let's see if I can find a picture of that so I can show you guys what that post. But I want to thank Bobby Broussard over from his channel for sending me that link, and I appreciate that. And all right, thanks.